So I'm going to quick show you how I am making my Myst books. Now I'm just starting with some old encyclopedias. Any book will work just so it's big enough for whatever you're putting inside it. Now your first step is cutting the hole. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can do it by hand with a knife. You can use, some people have had luck with an oscillating tool, the straight edge fast oscillating tools. I'm using a mill at work just because that's the most automated way I can do it. I just have a jig that I bolted into, routes it out, and then it also pokes the hole in the back for the USB charger. But you can use whatever works for you. Now I have tried doing the gluing first and then cutting it, and that just doesn't work. I've always found that the gluing has to be done second, because if you try to glue it first, when you go to cut it out, or if you use any tools, you'll force a little bit of dust under the edges here, and then it'll raise the center part of the book and it won't close all the way. Now with this, if it doesn't want to close all the way, you can always just trim a bit, or like sometimes I'll cut a relief in. I'm not sure if this one has any. Oh, here was one where I just ripped out a little bit of a chunk there, and that was enough relief to catch, to make a hole for all this expansion so that it will close and glue nicely. So what I have here is, for gluing, is a 5-gallon pail. I filled it with 1 gallon of wood glue, and then, which is about $10, and then I filled the rest with water, so I have about a 1:5 ratio. Now what I generally do is I can just dunk the whole book, but you don't want to dunk the cover and stuff, so I just have some wax paper here. And to get this set up in advance, I just put the wax paper in, tape it on. Okay, so the wax paper is taped on. Now all I do is I flip it open all the way. Put this off to the side here. And I dunk it. Hold my stir stick out of the way there as I get. Bring it all the way down to the spine and then lift it out. Let it drip dry a little, or drip a little bit off here to get the big stuff off. Okay, and now that I got the majority of it done, I just flip it shut. And set it down. Put it out of the way here. Just with a brush, start removing all the excess, and that's all it really takes. And now, put a weight on it. Okay, and then come back in about a day, and it'll be set. Speaking of that, back in a day, here's one that I did yesterday. So the glue is dried, and I can just peel off the wax paper, leaving some of it in place because it'll all get covered up later anyway. And it still opens fully, so I don't have to worry about it getting stuck shut. I will actually glue the back shut eventually. And as you can see, it closes nicely. No problems with the center isn't raised, because that's a concern sometimes. And so I've got my single compartment right here. And all I'll be doing is when I'm actually done with this and have my little screen implanted, I'm then going to be printing out a filler sheet that will cover all of this and make it look pretty. And then as for the external cover, it's going to get some cloth. Probably just adhesived on and folded around the corners so that it doesn't look like a yearbook anymore.